Hi, my name is Lynn Baskett, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. This was my second GA experience, but my first in-person GA. I thought it was a wonderful view of the complexity and diversity of our UU community. I was struck by the commitment of the young members there, the way their voices were shared and their enthusiasm. The planners were also very conscientious in choosing outstanding speakers who embodied the diverse perspectives that reflect both the changing diversity of our movement and the US population. I was left with a deeper understanding of what does liberatory theology really mean for UUs, and was comforted by the emphasis on how our interdependence rather than our individualism is key to our journey to create beloved community. For me, the most important aspect of the business of the association was the discussion of the bylaws changes to Article 2, which includes the list of our principles and sources of wisdom. And I echo everything Mark said about democracy, and sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's not. As someone who loves a list, the current principles are tidy, and they very much appeal to my linear tendencies. The content of the current principles also resonates deeply, particularly Principle 1 about the inherent worth and dignity of all people, and number 7 about our interconnectedness. At MDUUC, we've added the 8th principle that calls on us to dismantle systemic racism and other systems of oppression. I can find all 8 principles embedded in the proposed values descriptions. The covenant statements for each value are a reminder that supporting a value is just the beginning. Our theology calls on us to live our values as best we can, individually and together, and to support beloved community for all, not just those I know, those who look like me, those who vote like me. The revision to the sources of wisdom also appealed to me because they speak more broadly about a range of sources of spiritual wisdom and acknowledges that there's no one source. And it allows other sources to emerge over time when those of us that are in various later decades, we're not going to be around, but I know there's going to be something worthy of adding later. I also heard concerns about all these changes, the feeling of loss and grief about the changes to the principles, and a repeated message, it's not broken for me. Instead of don't need to fix it, it was more please don't fix it. Holding these concerns along with the energy of the young adults and the commitment to the new values was a reminder of the many ways that we're called on to hold multiple truths. It's hard and irritating and a critical life skill to hold multiple truths. We won't agree on everything, but if we focus on our interconnectedness, we're more likely to find a way that minimizes our differences and to the greatest extent possible for greater participation. Change is hard. We all know change is hard. But we've changed our principles in the past. I would certainly be much less likely to be a UU today if the patriarchal 1961 version was still in use. As a woman, I have experienced the challenges of being acknowledged and heard without interruption as one of only a few female executives in a meeting with mostly other male executives. As a white woman, my experience is pale compared to those of women of color. Reverend Leslie shared a lot of data with us about the trends in church participation. I believe we ignore the young adults' needs and language at our own peril. Without clearly stated values that resonate for the coming generations, our capacity to create beloved community also diminishes. So I have a personal experience of holding multiple truths that seems relevant for this time that we are in as UUs. My parents had trouble with the music I wanted to listen to as a teen, just as their parents didn't like their music. My mother had a short fuse on this, and she would wait till she just couldn't stand the words or the beat of the rock and roll music, and she would yell, "Turn that off!" So I have two daughters. I chose to minimize my yelling capacity opportunities by speaking up sooner. And as a result, we have, I think I still have some in the car dashboard, CDs that are labeled Mom Tolerable Music. I did not bring one to play, I promise. We managed to find a way to travel together because we're committed to family interconnectedness and also relevant. Perhaps they just put up with that because some music was better than no music. I hope we can honor our past versions of the principles and approve a version that speaks to our future without too much yelling. As a faith community committed to a living tradition, staying relevant over time, the proposed values and sources, as they will eventually be refined and proposed for a vote next year, give me great hope. A living tradition, by its very nature, requires us to hold multiple truths with love and compassion, and I look forward to our journey together. Thank you.